Hey, everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah.
That's it.
It's had like an hour left. So get extra comfortable, kids, because after that, y'all gotta go. It's a wrap for y'all, because this thing turns into something that when y'all get older, y'all don't want to come to. Okay?
Happy 50th. Y'all know y'all gonna have to turn up tonight, right? Ain't no party like a Diddy party. Y'all know how y'all was doing it back in '64.
That's why I don't be going to them puffy parties. They can hug you from the front and the back at the same time.
Celebrities responded to Diddy's arrest, and the reactions from music legends, especially Eminem, will leave you speechless.
Diddy will be in jail for a very long time for the crimes he committed at his infamous parties. But now, with photos and videos being leaked of the big bashes, some celebrities are scared as they could be implicated with his crimes. Now, since Diddy's arrest, various photos and videos have been leaked and have resurfaced, and celebs are panicking over it. Now, starting off, there's Ashton Kutcher. Now, past footage of him at one of Diddy's white parties, having a good time on a swing, has been going around. Also, photos of him and his then-wife Demi Moore have resurfaced. With this, people have looked more into Ashton and Diddy's past friendship, and it's honestly concerning. Ashton was actually really close with Diddy, and he once said, "If you're a single man, there's probably no greater human being in the world to hang out with. This is 20 years ago, 19 years ago. We were having a lot of fun together." Then, concerning footage of Ashton not being able to name an appropriate favorite Diddy party memory surfaced. While appearing on Hot Ones, host Sean Evans asked Ashton for his favorite memory at a Diddy party, but Ashton said, "I've got a lot I can't tell." He laughed and said, "I can't tell that one either." So if he can't tell those stories, how bad were they? But it's said that Ashton himself is worried about what could happen with this whole Diddy situation. An insider source revealed that Ashton absolutely regrets his friendship with Diddy, considering what has happened. He feels lied to, betrayed, taken for granted, and manipulated. Everyone who is close to Diddy fears the possibility of Diddy making up false allegations to clear his own name. Although Kutcher is frightened by the prospect of being involved in the case, he is also prepared to completely cooperate with authorities because he has nothing to hide. Now, in the past, Diddy once named Leo as the #1 person on his white party invitation list, which raises some eyebrows. I mean, you don't just say that. Now, people have been looking at Leo strange, but a source close to Leo says that he's not been in contact with Diddy for years, saying he never attended freak-offs and has nothing to do with the case. Now, the pair were last seen together in 2019 when Leo attended Diddy's 50th birthday party. But a source went on to say, Leonardo DiCaprio has absolutely nothing to do with any of this. He attended a few of his parties back in the early 2000s, but literally everyone did. They were not freak-offs, they were big house parties. Leo was at the start of his career at the time and has moved way past his partying. He has nothing to do with any of that world, so for anyone to assume that he will get roped into this based on a few grainy photos that are more than 20 years old is ridiculous. Then, of course, there's the Kardashians. Kim and Khloe Kardashian have been spotted at multiple Diddy parties, and in recent years, the whole Kar-Jenner family have been spotted with Diddy. They posted about it on social media, talked about him on their reality shows, and Khloe even had Diddy on as a guest on her show Cocktails with Khloe. Now, they have a real deep friendship, but fans noticed that Kim unfollowed Diddy since the raid on his houses. Khloe, though, still has an Instagram photo up of her, Diddy, and her sisters together, and captioned the post, "No party like a Diddy party." Yeah. Then there's the fact that Kris Jenner is dating Corey Gamble, who was good friends with Diddy. An insider said that Corey was aware of Diddy's controversial engagements, and a lot of people believe that Corey must have had some knowledge of what was going on. Now, an insider also noted, though, that he totally denies these allegations. However, it's been said that Kris has already started to plan her family's rescue in case things get dirty for her daughters. It's all very ugly and very embarrassing, and Kris is scrambling to distance them all from this and distract everyone, but that's going to be impossible if they get called to testify. Now, another source said all these years that they bragged about partying with Diddy have of course got everyone assuming that they were somehow involved in these deprived freak-offs. They then asserted that the family had no idea of the sorts of twisted things he was up to after hours. Now, talking to In Touch magazine, the insider continued, Diddy had plenty of glamorous parties over the years that weren't freak-offs, at least not until the early morning hours when the majority of people had left. Now, the insider suggests that Kris is presently scrambling to distance them from all of this, and I can't blame her. Then there's the VHS tape that was recently leaked. Now, a source sent page 6 of VHS tape that was sent out as an invitation to Diddy's 29th birthday in 1998. It begins with a strange home video style skit in which Danny DeVito, lying on a sofa under a blanket, says, "That's right, Puff Daddy is having a party and this is Puff Daddy inviting you to come, let's have a ball." Then a group of celebs take turns reading from a script detailing the date and time, exactly how fabulous and expensive the party will be, and then reading an address to RSVP to. They then said that the venue would be revealed later. Now, this group of celebrities includes Oprah, Ellen DeGeneres, Chris Rock, Mariah Carey, Will Smith, and Joan Rivers, to name a few. It's also been said that the whole video is 6 minutes long, but just over a minute of it was posted. Now, what happens in the other 5 minutes of it? No one really knows. People who have seen this, though, claim that the celebs involved in the tape should be looked at as potential accomplices in Diddy's case, as they appear to be good friends with him and have close ties. And hey, I gotta say, I agree with this. I mean, everyone should be looked into, as the crimes Diddy is being accused of are absolutely disgusting, and he clearly was not alone committing them. Now, Ray J, who is friends with Diddy, has spoken out about how some celebrities are paying off their victims when it comes to the freak-offs. Ray J said, "I'm hearing about artists paying victims to keep their names out of it." Now, Tony Busby, the attorney representing more than 120 alleged victims, disclosed that he has sent out demand letters to the celebrities, asking them to pay up or face the consequences. Now, Tony had previously mentioned that investigations into Diddy's case had implicated several Hollywood big shots. He has disclosed that he's now going after other celebrities, though, who attended Diddy's freak-offs, even if they did nothing wrong. In a new appearance on TMZ's documentary, The Downfall of Diddy, Inside the Freak-Offs, Tony claims such big names are as guilty as those who perpetrated the crimes, explaining that their silence and unwillingness to stand against it makes them liable. Now, I wonder if any of the celebrities we mentioned before were sent these letters. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. And I mean, in a September 17th letter to a judge arguing for Diddy to be jailed until he is brought to trial, U.S. Attorney Damian Williams claimed that his office has the testimony of dozens of witnesses and victims to his serial mistreatment and evidence from dozens of his own electronic devices and those of his co-conspirators. Investigators have taken in more than 90 cell phones, laptops, cloud storage accounts, as well as at least 30 storage devices. They issued more than 300 grand jury subpoenas to obtain this evidence from communication providers, tech and social media companies, financial institutions, and Diddy's companies. Prosecutors allegedly have dozens of videos depicting Diddy's so-called freak-offs that corroborate witness testimony. So who knows really how many people were involved in all of this. Diddy is in trouble with the law, but it seems like all these other celebrities are too, like Prince Harry, Usher, and Leonardo DiCaprio. A lot of celebrities were named in lawsuits against Diddy, and one of those people just so happened to be Prince Harry. Yup, you heard that right, a member of the royal family has ties with Diddy. Now, Diddy is said to have drawn guests to his infamous parties through his VIP associations with celebrities such as famous athletes, political figures, artists, musicians, and international dignitaries like British royal Prince Harry, according to the legal notice. Now, there's no suggestion of any wrongdoing by the prince, and his name is only mentioned once in the documents as an example of a well-known celebrity associate of Diddy. Now, both Harry and his brother Prince William were pictured with Diddy and Kanye West in 2007 after the musicians performed in the Concert for Diana at Wembley Stadium. Now, Harry hasn't been accused of anything, but just just being associated with Diddy is a huge red flag. While there are anonymous or redacted celebrities named in one of the suits, it's not too difficult to figure out who they are. While Chris Brown isn't named specifically in the court documents, he's referenced as one of two redacted figures, redacted R&B singer, who was specifically alleged to have been in Mr. Combs' Los Angeles home consorting with girls and adult workers. Another clue that points to it being Chris is the footnote at the bottom of that same page, which reads, Grammy award-winning R&B singer who had trouble with law enforcement after mistreating a Bajan billionaire. Then, like Chris, while Meek Mill wasn't named specifically in court documents, he's referenced as one of two redacted rapper figures who was specifically and allegedly in Mr. Combs' Los Angeles home consorting with girls and adult workers. Now, another clue that points to it being Meek Mill's is the footnote at the bottom of that same page, which reads, he is a Philadelphia rapper who dated Nicki Minaj. Now, to be honest, is anyone really shocked that Chris Brown is connected to this? I mean, after what he's done to Rihanna and other women, it makes a lot of sense. Now, I just hope that these new victims get the justice they deserve and he's put behind bars like he should have been many years ago. Now, producer Rodney Jones filed a lawsuit against Diddy at the beginning of 2024 for mistreating him, taking advantage of him, and making him a witness to multiple crimes. Now, Diddy wasn't the only person named though. An amended complaint filed in March in the U.S. District Court of the Southern District of New York by Rodney listed Cuba Gooding Jr. as a defendant. Rodney accuses Cuba of harassment and being taken advantage of. Specifically, Rodney accuses Diddy of manipulating him to pass him off to Cuba. Now, the two were left alone in a makeshift studio on a yacht rented by Diddy, according to the complaint. There, Cuba became inappropriate, and this isn't the first time he's been charged for acting this way, so it makes me inclined to believe that Rodney is telling the truth. The CEO of Universal Music Group and the father-in-law to Sophia Richie, Lucian Grange, is also listed as a defendant in Rodney's amended complaint. He is accused of aiding and abetting Diddy. Rodney says that as CEO, Lucian had a duty to ensure that the financial support they provided to Diddy and Love Records was not being used for adult workers, substances, and alcohol. Now, attorneys for Lucian have filed a motion to dismiss, in which they call the accusations offensively false. In a sworn statement to the court, he called the accusations completely untrue and absurd, and said that he plans to pursue both plaintiffs and his counsel for having made such false accusations. Now, he also pointed out that he is the CEO of a multinational public company and is not involved in the day-to-day operations of the company's thousands of agreements. And Justin Dior Combs, Diddy's 30-year-old son, has been linked to helping his father commit crimes. Justin has been accused of soliciting adult workers as well as engaging in freak-offs. It's also been said that Justin and Diddy were the only two people present in the room when a man named G was injured at a recording studio, so this implies that one of them hurt G. Now, Justin was at Diddy's Los Angeles home when it was raided by feds, and he was seen handcuffed on the lawn outside, though he was not arrested. Justin's lawyer said that the complaint was utterly bonkers on his radio show Beyond the Legal Limit. It's clearly written in an effort to get as much publicity as possible, not only for the case but for the lawyer whose name I don't even remember, literally some maniac, he said. Now, Misa Hilton, the mother of Justin and an ex-girlfriend of Diddy, spoke out against the raid. She posted on social media, "The overzealous and overtly militarized force used against my sons Justin and Christian is deplorable," she wrote. "If these were the sons of a non-black celebrity, they would not have been handled with the same aggression. The attempt to humiliate and terrorize these innocent young black men is despicable. Enough is enough." She then said her son's attorney is investigating to determine if the force used by law enforcement was excessive. "We will fight for justice utilizing every imaginable source. I'm not okay with the propaganda," she wrote online. Now, in a statement released a day after the raids, a lawyer representing Diddy called the raids a gross overuse of military-level force, adding that there was no excuse for the hostility exhibited by authorities or the way his children and employees were treated. But yeah, it seems like Justin was involved with a lot of the stuff his father did, and I'm sure he'll be joining him in in prison soon. Then there's Usher. Usher has known Diddy for a long time, as in the early 90s when he was a young star, he was sent to live with the already established Diddy in New York City at his Puffy Flavor Camp, where he was expected to learn the ropes of the industry. During their time together, Diddy served as Usher's mentor, and Diddy taught him a lot alright, like how to party. Usher has never spoken negatively about Diddy and has even joked about his time living with Diddy in interviews, implying that he was exposed to an adult lifestyle well beyond his years. While the singer has been frank about his experiences, sharing that he went there to see the lifestyle and saw it, he has never expanded further on Diddy's parties. In an interview with Howard Stern, Usher revealed that living with Diddy was pretty wild. He went on to say there were very curious things taking place, and I didn't necessarily understand. Then when Stern asked him if he would send his kids to Diddy's camp, Usher's response was a resounding hell no. But after Diddy was arrested, it appeared that Usher deleted all of his tweets and his Twitter account altogether. Later though, he made a post saying he was hacked, but the timing was just extremely suspicious. And Leonardo DiCaprio is someone else who's been linked to Diddy. There's photos of Leo in attendance at his parties, and in the past, Diddy once named Leo as the #1 person on his white party invitation list, which raises some eyebrows. I mean, you just don't say that about anybody. Now, people have been looking at Leo strange, but a source close to him says he has not been in contact with Diddy for years, saying he never attended freak-offs and has nothing to do with the case. Now, the pair were last seen together in 2019 when Leo attended Diddy's 50th birthday party. The source went on to say Leonardo DiCaprio has absolutely nothing to do with any of this. He attended a few of his parties back in the early 2000s, but literally everyone did. They were not freak-offs, they were big house parties. Leo was at the start of his career at the time and has moved way past his partying. He has nothing to do with any of that world, so for anyone to assume that he'll get roped into this based on a few grainy photos that are more than 20 years old is ridiculous. I don't know though, it's a little suspicious considering Leo was one of the #1 people on Diddy's list to invite. It's just straight up fishy.
New photos from the night of one of Diddy's major lawsuits shine a whole new light on his relationship with then-girlfriend Jennifer Lopez. We'll get into all this and more in leaked Diddy party photo of Jennifer Lopez will change everything. Diddy, as you likely know by now, has been accused of some pretty heinous things by multiple people, including some past partners. Many lawsuits have been filed against the disgraced rapper. The lawsuit alleged that Diddy and an unnamed additional male celebrity harmed her inappropriately, while another, also unnamed, female celebrity watched. The plaintiff's story in the lawsuit was she attempted to sneak into Radio City Music Hall in 2000 for MTV's VMAs, but when she was unsuccessful, she ran into Diddy's driver. The driver told her to come back after the show, and when she did, he drove her to a large white house with a gated U-shaped driveway. The plaintiff further claims that upon entering the house, she was presented with a non-disclosure agreement and asked to sign. Once inside, she claims there was widespread use of substances, and when handed a beverage, they were in there too. In a bid to find somewhere safe to rest, the plaintiff claims that she entered an empty bedroom, and it wasn't long after she entered that the trio of celebrities allegedly followed. It was then that the multiple transgression happened, ultimately halting when the plaintiff struck Diddy in the neck. She was able to eventually escape the house and return home, but of course, the night left its mark. As reported by the Daily Mail, the lawsuit claims that the plaintiff fell into a deep depression which continues to affect every facet of her life. Diddy continues to assert his innocence. Back in October of this year, the Daily Mail obtained exclusive images of allegedly the very same after-party that this incident happened at, and the photos feature what appears to be a very angry J-Lo yelling at then-boyfriend and presently accused Sean Diddy Combs. The couple appears to be towards the wall of the room that is clearly still buzzing with party energy. Diddy appears to be dressed in what he wore to Radio City Music Hall that evening, a white shirt, baseball cap, and the new addition being what appears to be a bottle in his hand. In J-Lo's case, she had changed from her event outfit of the all-white ensemble with the bedazzled bandana to a colorful diamond and striped mini dress. As the party guests dance around the couple, the vibes could not be more different. Even directly beside J-Lo is who the Daily Mail has pointed out as her sister, Linda Lopez. She has a big smile on her face in some photos. It looks like she's continuing to dance the night away. In other photos, it's unclear if they became before or after the initial argument photo. J-Lo appears to be looking at Diddy in disdain or disappointment as he pours guests glasses from the bottle in his hand. In what the Daily Mail deems the next photo in the sequence, J-Lo is seen pushing away from the alleged confrontation and walking out out of frame. As these are photos and not videos, there is no way of knowing exactly what was being said while the pictures were being taken unless one of the two stars steps forward. Though with the timing of the photos being obtained so close to the lawsuit being filed, it's made people look into the images a bit closer and wonder what the apparent argument could have been about. As of right now, JLo is not named in the lawsuit filed by the girl harmed at the allegedly same party. The lawsuit simply states Sean Diddy Combs and 2 unnamed celebrities were present. If it was this party, the house would be crawling with famous faces. This after-party event was co-hosted by Eminem and Dr. Dre. Some big-name guests that were included in the series of images the Daily Mail obtained from this night include music artist Jay-Z, magician David Blaine, model Carmen Cass, and rapper Ice-T, and more. To be clear, none of these people were named in the lawsuit either. They were simply present at the after party. There have been instances in the past when Diddy has hosted star-studded bashes that turn into his bad parties after all the talent has left. The US Sun reported that Diddy's 2005 VMAs after party went something like that. The event started as a party and was attended by big names like Eva Longoria and Paris Hilton, but the later half of the evening allegedly dissolved into one of Diddy's infamous freak-offs after the majority of the talent had left. The remaining party guests allegedly were moved from the nightclub to Diddy's mansion in the early morning, and this is where his inappropriate party happened. Footage from the later half of the party allegedly shows Diddy wearing the same outfit he had been wearing in the VMA after party pics. It's unclear if the incident at the 2000 MTV VMAs after party was a situation like that, or an isolated incident that happened during the party. Diddy is known for having an unsavory and violent past that is completely unrelated to the many lawsuits filed against him lately. Just under a year before the year 2000 after party, in December of 1999, Diddy and JLo were arrested after an altercation in a Manhattan club. Reported at the time was that in the club, Diddy, JLo, Diddy's bodyguard, and another music artist named Shine got in a disagreement that resulted in a fight. Diddy and JLo were not harmed inside the bar and fled the scene taking a car. Forbes reported that the couple were being chased by police, and the New York Post reported that the car ran a red light before being pulled over by the police. It was during this stop that things started to go south for the famous couple. Inside the car, police found a stolen weapon, the discovery prompting the stars being taken into custody. Present at the station where the couple was taken was retired NYPD detective Derek Parker. After the event, he spoke to the New York Post, giving them an exclusive look into what it was like in the room that night. He said there were all these high-profile lawyers barricaded in the station house waiting to talk to the desk officer, and further went on to recall that JLo was first handcuffed to a pole inside the station and then later held for about 14 hours in detention. Of course, like I'm assuming anyone who just experienced a club uproar and arrest like she did, the retired detective said that JLo appeared distressed. JLo ended up getting released and cleared of all charges first after that 14 hours. She later shared in an interview that she was scared to death in the car at the time. Though JLo was cleared of any charges, Diddy wasn't, so a trial had to take place that lasted a few weeks. In addition to the incident at the club, prosecutors also alleged that Diddy and his bodyguard tried to bribe the driver of the getaway car $50,000 in exchange for him telling the police the weapon was his. One of the victims of the incident did testify as a witness at the trial. During her testimony, she claimed that she saw Diddy pulling out the weapon with his right hand, and then very soon after feeling immense pain in her face that later turned out to be caused by the There is a tie-in to this situation and the current Diddy situation. One of the recent lawsuits filed against Diddy came from producer Rodney Little Rod Jones Jr. He filed a civil lawsuit for non-consensual relations and harassment, and in a shocking turn of events, it also seems to possibly reference this 1999 incident as well. The suit claimed that on the day Homeland Security raided Diddy's home, he displayed his and bragged about getting away with using these weapons against people. It went further, saying that Diddy also confirmed to those present that he was responsible for the New York incident with the other rapper Shine. Not only that, but that JLo was the one who carried the firearm into the club for him and passed him the gun after he got into an altercation with another individual. Of course, you might notice that this would make JLo being in possession of the item and handing it to Diddy improbable if the original victim insisted she saw him pull it out. But it's not impossible, could have happened before the altercation began. In the end, Diddy was acquitted along with his bodyguard. Though it is over 2 decades after the incident, the victim, Natanya Rubin, is still fighting for justice. She joined Elizabeth Vargas Reports for an interview earlier in the year in which she shared that she still has 9 fragments of the projectile in her face. A follow-up interview revealed that Rubin was nervous even years later about sharing her story. She also said in the interview that she wouldn't mind if the case was reopened, even going so far as to say that as long as it didn't cause any health complications, she would be willing to have a doctor remove remove a part of the 9mm projectile in her face to be used as evidence in court. Another interesting moment in the J-Lo-Diddy relationship history is a rumor from the early 2000s that was addressed in a recent interview on Jimmy Kimmel Live. The rumor was that while Diddy was dating J-Lo in the late 90s, early 2000s, Will Smith and his wife had propositioned the Jenny from the Block singer with an invitation to join them in bed. Allegedly, Diddy wasn't too happy with that and threatened to attack Smith. Never one to shy away from anything, Kimmel straight up asked Diddy if this was true. Insert clip here. At first, the music artist made absolutely no movements, just kept his face in a very serious mask. Eventually, he did respond with, "You really heard that?" and laughed the whole thing off, claiming he didn't know what Kimmel was talking about. The talk show host played into the bit, making a remark about how one can't believe everything they hear on the internet.
We all know that Diddy has been exposed for doing some pretty terrible stuff, but it appears that Oprah is just as guilty as he is. Oprah is known to have been friends with Diddy. They were spotted together multiple times at parties, charity events, and Oprah even had Diddy on her talk show. They were both big and powerful people in Hollywood, but it appears that maybe they were using their power for bad. Not good. Recently, a source sent Page Six a VHS tape that was sent out as an invitation to the mogul's 29th birthday in 1998. It's a combination of celebrities inviting you to Diddy's birthday party. Starting off the video, though, is Oprah, which stands out a lot. Other celebrities seen in the tape include Ellen DeGeneres, Chris Rock, Mariah Carey, Magic Johnson, Will Smith, Ben Stiller, Joan Rivers, Steven Tyler, and Tommy Hilfiger. It begins with a strange home video style skit in which Danny DeVito is lying on a sofa under a blanket and says, "That's right, Puff Daddy is having a party, and this is Puff Daddy inviting you to come. Let's have a ball." Then the group of celebs take turns reading from a script detailing the time, date, exactly how fabulous and expensive the party will be, and then reading an address to RSVP to. They say that the venue would be revealed later. Now, all those people in the video appear to be his really good friends, and how interesting it is that Oprah was a part of it. It was revealed that the invite is 6 minutes long, but only 1.5 minutes were released to the public. It has people questioning what else is on there and what's being hidden. Commenters, though, are shocked by the video. One person commented, "I think it's foul that not one person was staying away from him then, and supposedly they knew. No one was saying a word. Didn't he have some kind of big 4th of July party that anyone who was anyone would be at every year? Those people should be just as guilty, accomplices." While another person said, "It's crazy. Anyone I see here is suspect to me." Yeah, it's just not a good look and shows us that Oprah was closer to Diddy than maybe we had thought. Oprah herself has been caught in many scandals throughout her career, and one that really sticks out is her school that she created. The Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls opened in Johannesburg in 2007. It was founded with $40 million of Oprah's money. But less than a year later, 6 of the 152 students who had been personally selected by Oprah to attend the institution came forward to accuse dorm matron Virginia Tiny McGolbo of mistreating them. She was arrested in November 2007 and released on bail. She faced 14 different charges. It seems like she and the organization did not look into who they were hiring and how the operation was running on a daily basis. It's definitely very sad because this could have been prevented. Following the first trial, Oprah was then sued by the headmistress of the South African Girls' School for defamation. She alleged that Winfrey defamed her by implying she was covering up the mistreatment going on at the school. However, this case was later settled out of court before the arranged trial. That is not all that happened there, though. In 2009, there was another scandal about mistreatment. 7 of their students were suspended for harassing their classmates. The New York Daily News also reported that the alleged perpetrators attempted to entice their classmates into lesbian relationships. A South African news outlet also revealed that one of the girls demanded that her victims lie to the police about what happened. There's been a lot of bad stuff happening there, and it seems like no one is really doing anything about it and is just letting it happen. Not to mention, parents also came forward with complaints about the school. In March 2007, some parents complained because they were only allowed to visit their children once a month, and the girls were only allowed to use their cell phones on weekends. One parent said, quote, "It was a nightmare. We had only 2 hours to see my child. Surely this isn't a prison or an institution." Another mother said her homesick daughter was very
very upset over the rules. Quote, Michelle phones me in tears sometimes, and then I don't know what to say to her. There have also been rumors online that some girls from the school have gone missing. There hasn't been any concrete evidence of this, but it honestly wouldn't surprise me since there has been so many other shady things going on there too. People think that Oprah has been taking the students and doing God knows what to them. Shockingly, the school is still up and running, which is crazy considering all of the scandals that have happened. There's something fishy going on though, and more people have been starting to question it. Oprah has also been involved in more controversies lately, with people even reflecting on her past interviews and calling her out for her behavior. But Oprah isn't the only one who has interviews that haven't aged well. People have been digging up a lot of stuff about Diddy, and I mean, if people just paid attention to what he was saying in his interviews, we might have known sooner that he was up to no good. One of the most shocking revelations comes from an interview he did with Entertainment Tonight in 1999. He was talking about his parties and had this to say: "They won't even give me a permit for the parties. They don't want me to throw parties no more. But we ain't gonna stop. We're gonna keep having fun, bringing people together from all walks of life. They're going to be shutting them down. They're probably going to be arresting me, doing all types of crazy things just because we want to have a good time." Yeah. Now the fact that he says they're probably going to arrest me is kind of crazy. In 2002, Diddy made an appearance on Late Night with Conan O'Brien. While there, he said some pretty concerning things. Conan asked him what makes a Diddy party so great, and Diddy goes on to list that you need beautiful ladies, beautiful men, booze, water, and locks on the doors. Yeah, one of those things is not like the others. Conan then interjected about the locks, asking if the parties were safe. Diddy then played it off as a joke, but with what we know now, there probably were locks on the doors, maybe so he could control his victims better. I feel with him saying this, it's so clear that some not so legal things happened at his parties. I mean, no normal party needs locks to keep the guests locked in. I think this is some pretty crazy evidence, and I mean, he just kind of tattled on himself. The problem is people think that this is just a joke, but he's been telling us the truth the whole time. And probably what's some of the most shocking evidence against him is how he answered this question. In 2017, Diddy was a guest on Martha and Snoop's potluck dinner party, which was hosted by Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg. In the resurfaced clip, the two hosts are seen playing a card game with their guests that consisted of various open-ended prompts. The Bad Boy founder reads, quote, "When I die, I want my last words to be," and he swiftly answers, quote, "I did it." It's giving O.J. Simpson. As he looks around the room, people laugh and clap, seemingly taking his response as a lighthearted joke. I did it? What? Now, what's crazy is at this point, Diddy had some accusations against him, but they were all brushed off or nobody believed the women at the time. To me though, this clip is a clear confession. He just told us that all the rumors about him were true, which, again, is insane. With this clip resurfacing, people are shocked by this too. "That's a confession," reads one of the most liked comments under the TikTok video. "This didn't age well," one person wrote, as another said, "Well, he did it alright." It's just weird all around, and if you look back, there were so many signs about how bad of a person Diddy was. I mean, he practically admitted it in public and no one listened. Now it appears the same thing is happening with Oprah as people have began to turn on the star. And let me just say, I wouldn't be shocked if we start learning about the skeletons in her closet real soon.
We've been finding out more and more information about Diddy recently, and somehow Britney Spears has been involved in all of this. Yep, you heard that right, so let's look into her involvement. TriStar Sports and Entertainment Group is the celebrity management firm that previously came under fire for its alleged involvement in Britney Spears' conservatorship battle. Turns out though, they also have a connection to Diddy. The company's founder, president, and CEO is none other than Britney's former business manager, Lou M. Taylor, who she accused of playing a key role in the conservatorship's implementation in 2008. Now, we know that sketchy things were happening with Brittney, so who knows what horrible things this group has done in connection to Diddy. Now, Lou actually managed Diddy too, as she confirmed it in 2019. Brittney has also previously called out TriStar Services director Robin Greenhill, who was recently mentioned in a civil lawsuit against Diddy by producer Rodney Little Rod Jones. In 2021, it was revealed that Greenhill was in control of Brittney's credit cards, medications, and that TriStar had allegedly used Brittney's own money to hire a security team to surveil her during her conservatorship, which is honestly just crazy. Now, Brittney even spoke out about Greenhill in her memoir, labeling her a weird blank lackey, and accused the pair, along with her own father, Jamie Spears, of bullying her. Now, it was also previously reported by the Los Angeles Times that Brittney's legal team was investigating the alleged $18 million that TriStar obtained from her estate over the span of the conservatorship, which was terminated by a judge in November 2021 after 13 years. TriStar, Taylor, and Greenhill have all denied the allegations and have insisted that Brittney's conservatorship was put forth by recommendation of legal counsel, not TriStar, and approved by the court for more than 12 years. Now, they mistreated Brittney so poorly, and it appears that they helped Diddy cause harms to others. Now, Greenhill's name was back in the press this year after Rodney Lowe Rod Jones filed a $30 million lawsuit against Diddy, claiming that he mistreated and took advantage of him. Now, Rodney also claimed that Diddy made him a witness to multiple crimes against his own will as well. Now, how does this relate to Brittney? Well, she accused the company and its founder, her former manager Lou Taylor, of helping create and benefiting from the conservatorship agreement put in place by her father, Jamie Spears, in 2008, which she described as traumatizing in her court statements. Now, Brittney claimed that TriStar had received $18 million in the conservatorship arrangement, even though Brittney didn't have access to her own earnings. Now, the New York Times reported that Greenhill had been an important agent in the company's interest in the conservatorship by controlling her credit cards and medications well beyond what one would expect a pop star's management company to do. Now, a lot of the company's inner workings for how it manages its accounts are kept under lock and key, the paper reported, with two former employees saying they weren't allowed to access basic information like income statements or balance sheets. TriStar first tried to deny it helped originate Brittney's conservatorship, which her attorney challenged by presenting the court with an email that showed its reps discussing the arrangement at its origination. The New York Times documentary about Brittney's case included allegations that TriStar and Greenhill specifically had operated an elaborate surveillance apparatus to spy on the pop star. But how did this all start? Well, everyone knows about Brittney's meltdowns in 2006 and 2007. Now, later, at the beginning of 2008, she was put on a 5150 hold in the hospital. A week after this, she was sent back to the hospital on a 5150 hold again, and her father Jamie was granted temporary conservatorship over the star. Now, soon after the conservatorship was in place, she said her father said, "I just want to let you know, I call the shots. You sit there in that chair and I'll tell you what goes on," she recalled. "I looked at him with a growing sense of horror. I'm Brittney Spears now," he said. Now, Brittney also spoke out about the 13-year conservatorship, and she hit out at her dad Jamie in the explosive memoir as she opened up about the unrelenting control her family had over her, which, looking back, makes her feel sick. Now, people in Hollywood knew that this was happening but didn't do anything. Finally, in 2019, fans started to realize that something was wrong, and they created the Free Brittney movement. Now, with fans backing Brittney up, she felt like she finally had a voice and requested the conservatorship to end. Now, she and her father appeared in court multiple times over the year, and on November 12, 2021, the conservatorship was finally over. Now, it seems like TriStar and its employees are always getting in trouble and should honestly be investigated. While Brittney is free now, some people don't think she got the justice she deserved. Now that TriStar is intertwined with Diddy, maybe the company and its employees will now be held accountable. Now, Diddy, though, for his part, claims that he's innocent. Now, Diddy is currently awaiting trial at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. He's proposed different bail packages, but they've all been denied. Defense lawyer Alexandra Shapiro asked them to release Diddy on a $50 million bond, which would be backed by his $48 million Miami home and co-signed by several of his family members. Now, she also proposed that Diddy be monitored around the clock by security personnel, be subjected to at-home detention, and have no contact with alleged victims or witnesses. One of the judges who denied this package, Judge Robin Tarnofsky, sided with U.S. Attorney's argument that Diddy posed a risk if he were to be released for home detention. She said, "I don't believe that counsel has the ability to control you, given the very significant concerns I have, particularly because of substance use and what seems like anger issues. The danger, I think, is quite serious," she added of Diddy's release, deciding that the bond package his team offered would not assure his return to court or the safety of the community or lack of witness tampering. In a September 17th letter to the judge arguing for Diddy to be jailed until he was brought to trial, U.S. Attorney Damian Williams claimed that his office has the testimony of dozens of witnesses and victims to his serial mistreatment and evidence from dozens of his own electronic devices and those of his co-conspirators. Investigators have taken in more than 90 cell phones, laptops, cloud storage accounts, as well as at least 30 storage devices. They issued more than 300 grand jury subpoenas to obtain this evidence from communication providers, tech and social media companies, financial institutions, and Diddy's companies. Prosecutors allegedly have dozens of videos depicting Diddy's so-called freak-offs that corroborate witness testimony. So it's safe to say that there's plenty of evidence that will keep Diddy in jail.
Puff Daddy is currently facing some serious allegations that have tarnished the reputation he built for himself in the music industry and beyond. Once a close-knit circle of celebrity friends seems to be distancing themselves in the wake of these serious allegations. Well, there's a leaked VHS tape allegedly sent as an invitation to Puffy's 29th birthday back in 1998 that has further raised a number of eyebrows. So known for his love of partying, Puff Daddy has never shied away from going out and about while hosting such events, although some of his current legal troubles reportedly stem from similar gatherings. But I digress. So the nearly 6-minute long video serves both as a time capsule from the peak of the bad boy era and as a reminder of how far Puff Daddy, who even skipped this year's Grammy Awards and is now kind of, out of action, has slipped socially amid the investigation. So the tape, which arrived in the hands of the most powerful and glamorous players in LA and New York in a black velvet pouch with the birthday gala, November 4th, 1998 written on it in white script, features, wait for it folks, Oprah, Ellen DeGeneres, Chris Rock, Mariah Carey, Magic Johnson, Will Smith, Ben Stiller, Joan Rivers, Steven Tyler, Joe Perry, Tommy Hilfiger, Clive Davis, Ronald Perlman, Penny Marshall, Stephen Baldwin, and so many more. And they're all taking turns to hype the bash, encouraging the recipients to RSVP and to goof off for the camera. It all begins with a strange home video style skit in which Danny DeVito, lying on a sofa under a blanket, is like, "That's right, Puff Daddy's having a party, and this is Puff Daddy inviting you to come. Let's have a ball." And then the cavalcade of A-listers take turns reading from a script detailing the date and time, exactly how fabulous and expensive the affair will be, and then reading an address to RSVP to. Apparently the venue, which turned out to be Cipriani Wall Street, would be revealed later. One person refers to the "I'll Be Missing You" rapper as the legendary Puff Daddy. Some folks, including Ellen DeGeneres, tease him for his many monikers. Some other folks make fun of their own unease with hip-hop slang. One reliable source who attended the bash said, "I've forgotten how much was made of the party in the press. I think bigger celebs and moguls were fascinated by the chutzpah of this 29-year-old. The Daily News reported that at the time the bash cost $600,000 and 1,600 people were on that list. The Observer compared it to Truman Capote's black and white ball at the Plaza, writing that while Truman's party was more for that creme de la creme of society, Puff Daddy was celebrating the kind of high-profile commercial success and notoriety that knows no bounds. So for decades, these parties were the place to be. Puff Daddy had all sorts of them. He had his annual Hamptons White Party. We had a number of blow-up birthday bashes like the one I just mentioned. There were these lavish champagne and caviar-filled soirees, and these were attended by the likes of Jay-Z, Beyonce, J-Lo, Leonardo DiCaprio, and so many more. There was chatter. Leonardo DiCaprio did step back after a snap from one of the infamous parties came to light, and a friend of his mentioned, look, he just went to a party, it wasn't that big of a deal, they weren't super close, but look, Back when Leonardo showed up at Puff Daddy's white party, the music star had tagged Leonardo as the #1 person he wanted at the bash. But apparently a source close to the situation is like, no, Leo had no connection with Puff Daddy ever since that party in 1998. The insider made it clear that the actor was not involved in the freak-offs. Well, a source shares that they were known to be wild. Anything went to those parties. And ever since all those legal things have been coming into light this year, there's been a lot of speculation about what goes on there. There's been talks of rooms just for getting it on. There's been rampant substance use. There's been these all-night getting it on situations. Apparently, and these freak-offs were mentioned in the 14-page indictment. Victims were, given substances against their will, forced to participate in extended performances that could last days at a time with professional workers. These things took place at hotels. Now, we gotta remember that Puff Daddy did plead not guilty to the charges and has denied all claims of SA. How much or how little did his A-list guests actually see at these crazy parties? Well, a couple of celebs have not been tight-lipped. In a 2014 episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Khloe Kardashian recalled hitting up a Puff Daddy bash in Las Vegas. And she's like, yeah, this party, I think half the people were like, in the nude. And when asked about what went down when somebody else attended, Ashton Kutcher was like, I got a lot I can't say. And he said that verbatim in 2019 on Hot Ones. He's like, yeah, going through my little Rolodex of stories, can't tell that one either. In 2016, Howard Stern asked Usher, who lived with Puff Daddy for a year when he was, getting a start in the industry. And Howard Stern was like, hey, would you let anybody in your family go to one of those parties? Usher was like, nope. So obviously following all of this, a lot of folks are like, okay, we were maybe at the parties, but we didn't see anything. 50 Cent has been very, very vocal for a very long time, being like, nope, I didn't go to those parties. It's an uncomfortable energy, which in retrospect, probably a very smart man. Puff Daddy's friend Ray J was like, I've never seen anything that's been said there. I've never been in rooms that people are talking about. I don't think they existed. A lot of people in the industry can agree with me on that sense. Now look, apparently all the unsavory behavior took place at the after parties. What happened before 2 a.m. pales into comparison to what happened at 5 a.m. There was a source who wrangled guests for these parties. And yeah, the high-profile celebs would apparently leave around 2 to 3 a.m. And that's when the party took a turn for the naughty. Folks would lose their clothes, which was apparently the signal for people to leave. That's when fun things would come out, and that's when it would turn into a bender. During an intimate discussion with Oprah, peeling away the layers of his complex life, Puff Daddy evoked curiosity by avoiding details about the origin of the Puff Daddy moniker. So this conversation was part of an interview for O Magazine, and Oprah was just casually asking. She's like, what's going on here? And Puffy was like, look, it's a nickname somebody gave me. And obviously Oprah being an interviewer, she was like, okay, but we're gonna prod here. And then Puff Daddy was like, look, I've never told anyone that. I know you get people to tell you everything, Oprah, but I can't look you in the eye and explain that one. He's like, no, we're gonna have a name change ceremony. I'm rocking with, a new moniker now. My man Biggie gave me that. So who else was at these parties? Mariah Carey, Paris Hilton were spotted enjoying the lavish and extravagant atmosphere. Going back to Usher, once again, so he was mentored by Puff Daddy. He was at a lot of these parties. He's mentioned a lot of the wild things, and he once, kind of handed over Bieber. Other high-profile guests included music icon Diana Ross, Hollywood actor Owen Wilson, but we're gonna go back to Ashton Kutcher for a moment. Because even though he said, I can't talk about anything, and I never did anything, their friendship goes way back. In the mid-2000s, they were so close that they were like, we're the new Rat Pack, us and Jamie Foxx. So when Ashton said hey, I can't talk about a lot of this, what can't you talk about? Because the Daily Mail is like, hey, we think you might be expecting a subpoena soon about what you do know. And sure, yeah, Puffy has said, nothing's happening. But if Ashton Kutcher is worried about potential betrayal, what would he be betrayed about? Just saying.
Oprah Winfrey has been spotted in a video from 1998 inviting Hollywood stars to one of Diddy's infamous parties. Now she appears in the video clip inviting guests to the star-studded bash, Diddy's 29th birthday, and she is joined by other well-known celebrities gushing over the star and his multi-million parties. Now this is not a good look for Oprah. Now Oprah has had many controversies throughout her life, but being involved with Diddy might be the final nail in the coffin when it comes to her career. She and Diddy have appeared together at numerous charity events, and Oprah has featured Diddy on her show, where they discuss not only his career but also his charitable efforts. Now, this appearance helped elevate Diddy's message about social responsibility and community engagement, which is kinda ironic if you think back to it now. Now, this isn't the first time Oprah has been linked to some horrible men in the entertainment industry that have ended up behind bars. I mean, it's starting to become a pattern. When she was asked about this, she said she tried to focus less on the crimes and the victims' stories and instead inside the bigger picture, which a lot of people had issues with. Her former friend Seal took to Instagram to call her out for her suspicious behavior. "You have been a part of the problem for decades, but suddenly they all think you're the solution," Seal said. "Oh, I forgot, that's right, you heard the rumors, but you had no idea he was actually doing those things to young starry-eyed actresses. My bad," he said. Yikes. Now, it seems like Oprah definitely knew what was going on. What's strange is that Oprah has actually been a victim to the crimes Diddy has been accused of. You see, Oprah was born in Mississippi to a single teenage mother and grew up in extreme poverty. During her childhood, the cost of raising Oprah became too much for her mother to handle, so she was sent to live with her biological father. Since then, Oprah has come forward talking about how she had been mistreated and taken advantage of by her cousin, uncle, and a family friend. As a young teenager, and after suffering for years, she then ran away from home, and a year later she became pregnant. Now, she gave birth to a son, but he was premature and passed away only a few weeks later. Now, Oprah has used this story to show her strength and to inspire people, but it seems like she might have helped continue this cycle towards young girls. I mean, we have to talk about the whole sketchy situation about her all-girls school that she created. When the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls opened in Johannesburg in 2007, Nelson Mandela, Tina Turner, Sidney Poitier, Spike Lee, and Oprah herself attended the ribbon-cutting ceremony celebrating the landmark boarding school founded with $40 million of Oprah's money. But less than a year later, 6 of the 152 students who had been personally selected by Oprah to attend the institution came forward to accuse dorm matron Virginia Tiny McGobo of mistreating them. She was then arrested in November 2007 and released on bail, and she faced 14 different charges. "It has shaken me to my core," Oprah said, of the returning to South Africa with a team of private detectives to investigate the allegations and personally speak with the girls. "This has been one of the most devastating, if not the most devastating, experiences of my life." Now, it seems like she and the organization did not look into who they were hiring and how the operation was running. I mean, this whole thing could have been avoided. Now, following the first trial, Oprah was sued by the headmistress of the South African girls' school for defamation. She alleged that Oprah defamed her by implying that she covered up the mistreatment going on at the school. However, this case was later settled outside of court before an arranged trial, according to CNN. Now, that's not all that happened here though, as speculation of numerous missing girls from the academy have spread like wildfire across social media. Now, could Oprah have been taking the girls? That's definitely a possibility. Not to mention, parents also came forward with complaints about the school. In March 2007, some parents complained because they were only allowed to visit their children once a month, and the girls were only allowed to use their cell phones on weekends. One parent said, "It was a nightmare. We had only 2 hours to see my child. Surely this isn't a prison or an institution." Another mother said her homesick daughter was very upset over the rules. "Michelle phones me in tears sometimes, and then I don't know what to say to her." Shockingly, the school is still up and running, which is crazy considering all the scandals that have happened there. Then there's her canceled documentary. Oprah apparently spent a fortune to make sure the docuseries created about her never sees the light of day after clashing with Oscar-winning filmmaker and director Kevin McDonald over the project. As the Apple TV Plus deal was coming to an end, Miss Winfrey bought back the rights to her docuseries and has since decided to put the doc on hold, a spokesperson for Oprah told Page 6. In addition, another source said Kevin made the film, but Oprah didn't like it and he refused to change it, and Oprah has paid back her fee to Apple. Internet users reacted to the news that the documentary was putting on hold, and they were not impressed. Many questioned if Oprah was worried that some damaging information was set to become public. Well, now isn't this sketchy, one person wrote in page 6's comment section. Another individual asked, what is she afraid of or hiding? Similar takes showed up on Twitter, as one person wrote, what is Oprah hiding? While another tweeted, Oprah Winfrey shelled out a fortune to prevent a documentary release. Sounds legit, money talks, right? Not the truth. Yeah, I gotta say that this is pretty sketchy sounding. Then we know she's mistreated people in the past, whether it be celebrities, guests on her shows, or even her own stepmother. Yep, it was reported that she was accused of being heartless to her own stepmother after she was kicked out of the 5-bedroom South Nashville home she shared with Oprah's father for 14 years. Barbara Winfrey told Daily Mail that her life had been deliberately ruined by the talk show legend following a bitter divorce with Vernon Winfrey. Oprah's a billionaire 3 times over, her help to live better than this, Barbara pointed out, adding she said publicly that she offered to sell the house and give me the proceeds, but that's a lie. She never said that. Oprah owns property all over the world, so there's no reason to sell this house other than to spite me. It's a personal vendetta, she said. Now, legal papers claim that Oprah was involved in a conspiracy to separate her father and stepmother and essentially make the latter homeless. What she has done is nothing short of evil, but she doesn't scare me. Her actions cause me to disrespect her, Barbara said. Now, it seems like Oprah is always at the scene of the crime, and online users have been convinced about her downfall for years. One online user posted this on Reddit, and I honestly have to agree with it. They said, Oprah Winfrey is not a hero, nor should she be considered a role model. Successful? Sure. A good role model? Not really. She's nice, and she's certainly not an awful person, but she also consistently promotes individuals on her show who peddle pseudoscientific nonsense to a massive crowd of guests and television viewers, Dr. Oz being one of the most famous examples. The willingness to promote this type of content either means that the Oprah Winfrey Network is unwilling to do background research into these guests and their claims, or that they will promote whatever gets them the highest view count, making it rather low value and possibly harmful to pretty much anyone who watches the show. Why would anyone look up to someone who endorses science? Anyone who does even basic research into some of the so-called professionals that come on the show would realize they're spewing absolute nonsense. I don't know if this is unpopular or not, but I feel like a lot of people look up to her and think of her as both a pioneer and a good person. I don't see it. Lazy, unhinged, and disconnected from reality, or lazy and opportunistic. That's how I see her and her show. Now, other people responded to this post in agreement, saying, I noticed this about Oprah 20 years ago. Once you see her, you can't unsee her. She seems shallow, egotistical, self-absorbed, and all the rest of it. Another said, it wasn't until I was older and seen exactly what her show was about in the 80s and early 90s, and seen she capitalized off making a mockery of her trauma. No longer a role model, just another rich person who snubs their noses at anyone who's gone through life as she has. Makes me sick, actually. While a third person said that she was just straight up evil. So, does Oprah have anything to do with Diddy's crime ring? I honestly wouldn't put it past her. I guess we'll just have to wait for more details to come out to see if she was involved. Oprah Winfrey has been connected to Diddy multiple times in the press recently, from being friends, going to parties together, and even being on her talk show together. Now, recently, new footage was leaked from Diddy's parties, including Oprah in them. So, what's going on? Well, a source sent page 6 a VHS tape that was sent out as an invitation to the mogul's 29th birthday party in 1998. It's a combination of celebrities inviting you to Diddy's birthday party. Starting off the video, though, is Oprah, which stands out a lot. Other celebrities seen in the tape include Ellen DeGeneres, Chris Rock, Mariah Carey, Magic Johnson, Will Smith, Ben Stiller, Joan Rivers, Steven Tyler, and Tommy Hilfiger. Now, it begins with a strange home video style skit in which Danny DeVito's lying on a sofa under a blanket and says, "That's right, Puff Daddy is having a party, and this is Puff Daddy inviting you to come. Let's have a ball." Then the group of celebs take turns reading from a script detailing the date and time, exactly how fabulous and expensive the party will be, and then reading an address to RSVP to. They then say that the venue would be revealed later. Now that many people have seen this, they think the celebrities in the video were involved in Diddy's crime ring. They're all consulting their lawyers, one TikTok user said, and another wrote, "This is a whole videoed list of participants and accomplices." Yeah, it just doesn't look good for Oprah. Now, due to this being leaked, there have been claims that Oprah has fled the country. People have also said that the result of the presidential election has also affected Oprah's decision to leave the limelight. Kamala Harris had a lot of celebrities promote her and go to her rallies, and one celebrity who endorsed her was Oprah. But the Washington Examiner had reported that Oprah's media company, Harbo Productions, had received a fee from Harris's campaign for a star-studded live interview in September. Now, the price tag, it was said that it was $1 million. Now, this is just crazy and it has people upset at the Star. Why? Well, Harris's campaign sent out a bunch of messages to civilians asking for donations for the campaign, and fans are not happy that some of their money went to Oprah, who has a net worth of $3 billion. Yes, billion with a B. Now, you'd think Oprah would make an appearance out of the goodness of her heart, but oh no. One person on Twitter said, "Just embarrassing that anyone thought that Lady Gaga or Oprah were going to swing enough votes to justify this is insane." Someone else said, "All of this is so slimy and disgusting. At Oprah is so utterly repugnant." A third said, "Those performers should be ashamed of themselves. This is Trump-level grifting and is just one of many reasons you'll never see me donate a penny to a politician." Now, Oprah, though, has spoken out against this, saying, "Not true. I was paid nothing ever." Now, with this new information revealed, reports from the New York Times, citing two informed sources, revealed that Harbo Productions received nearly $2.5 million, rather than the previously estimated $1 million for the September town hall featuring Harris. It was then said that Oprah donated $150 million to the campaign, but that was false too. Nicole Nichols, a spokesperson for Oprah, told USA Today the show host had not donated to Harris's campaign. No donations to Harris from Oprah or her company Harbo Incorporated are listed on the Federal Election Commission website, a nonpartisan research group that tracks US political spending. Now, it's just a mess for Oprah right now, and this isn't the first controversy she's faced in recent years. This year, she's been called out for how she's spoken about losing weight and how she actually lost weight. Now, all throughout Oprah's career, she's been made fun of for her weight, and she ended up partnering with Weight Watchers, a weight loss plan company. Now, recently, Oprah lost a lot of weight, and she attributed it to Weight Watchers, but it was then revealed that she was lying. She finally revealed that she was using an unnamed weight loss medication, and that's how she was able to lose a lot of weight. So it wasn't the program that she had been promoting for all these years, which made a lot of people feel lied to. Now, a lot of people even claim that Oprah cheated with her weight loss. Then in 2024, Oprah decided to step down and stop working with Weight Watchers altogether. Many people are saying that she's a sellout and that everything she's ever stood for was a lie. While she did not specify the medication she's been taking, it's very likely that she's taking Ozempic or something Ozempic adjacent, which is all the craze with celebrities right now who are trying to lose weight. In 1988, she showed off her new slim figure by taking off an oversized coat and wheeling out a wagon holding 67 pounds of animal fat, the amount she had lost in less than 5 months. Now, this episode grew huge attention, earning the highest ratings in the show's history. However, years later, Oprah expressed regret about it, stating that it was simply an ego trip and admitting that she eventually regained all the weight. Now, Oprah is still receiving pushback from her Maui fund Now, Oprah is also still receiving pushback from her Maui fund she created with The Rock after a bunch of wildfires hit Hawaii in August 2023. It caused a lot of devastation in the community, so Oprah and The Rock created a foundation where money would go right into the pockets of those who were affected. It was a good idea for sure, but the problem people had with it was that the two celebrities only donated $10 million, and then they posted online asking everyday people for help. Now, this made people angry for a couple of reasons, but the main one was the fact that Oprah did not donate that much. As mentioned before, Oprah is worth $3 billion. I mean, she could have given every resident $100,000 and barely see a dent in her bank account. Oprah has always been about giving back to the community, but to some people, it felt like she wasn't helping as much as she could. Then there was the fact that she was asking everyday people for donations, when a lot of people are already going through financial struggles these days. Many people question why she wasn't asking her other wealthy celebrity friends to help, and I think these are all valid complaints, but Oprah ended up actually just making it worse for herself. All the online conversations, being slammed, lies, conspiracy theories really took the focus off what was the most important thing, and that was the people of Maui. Oprah and The Rock then thought about how they'd been giving to charity their whole lives and felt like starting with $10 million worked because it was enough to kick things off before opening the Maui Wildfires Fund up to people who wanted to help but didn't know how. Oprah said, "I was so excited about it. Then I got up the next morning and I saw all this vitriol and I was like, whoa, what happened here?" Yeah, now that honestly was not a good response at all. So with all this hate against Oprah, will she really leave Hollywood and the United States? I mean, she has the funds to do so what's to stop her? From her Diddy controversy to her lying to fans and being greedy, could this be the end? I guess we'll just have to wait and see.